Hello everyone. I am happy to share with you today the presentation of my research methodology as part of the GCAS Research Methodologies seminar. My master's thesis, entitled Thread Suns Above the Great Lake Wastes, Steps to a Planetary Coexistence, with particular reference to Sigmund Freud, Martin Heidegger and Rachel Ettinger, is a transdisciplinary thesis situated between philosophy, psychoanalysis, ethics, art, and environmental humanities. In particular, the thesis focuses on the question of the relationship between humans and nature in the present epoch of the Anthropocene. In the course of the master's thesis, it becomes clear that answering this question requires thinking together several positions and disciplines. The current traumatized state of planetary ecology did not come about by itself, as climate change deniers or relativists would like to define it until today. Instead, the transformation of the environment is directly linked to the agency of human subjectivity, as well as to ideologies that have fundamentally influenced human subjectivity since the beginning of sedentism and the emergence of agrilogistics some 12,000 years ago. In order to find an adequate answer to the question of the relationship between humans and nature, these very cross-fertilizations must be the focus of the investigation, so that a transdisciplinary approach seems only too justified. Following this transdisciplinary orientation, the research methodology of my master's thesis is essentially a dialectical one. With dialectics, the master's thesis sets up a plurivocal debate and allows the different positions and disciplines to have their say, in which, as Hegel puts it in his encyclopedia, the mind comes to itself and renders thought its object. The dialectical debate of the master's thesis emerges between three protagonists who engage with each other in the form of a thesis or an antithesis. And those are Sigmund Freud, Martin Heidegger, and Rachel Ettinger. With these three protagonists, the transdisciplinary interpretation of the master's thesis is already given, insofar as psychoanalysis, philosophy, ethics, and art come to meet. The master's thesis is divided into three major chapters, the first two of which consist of the interplay of thesis and antithesis, while the third part takes the form of a synthesis. Here, it is no longer a matter of juxtaposing different points of view, but instead of establishing a new integral perspective which proposes a chart of alternative coexistences between humans and nature. Due to its dynamic topical character, however, the master's thesis cannot be reduced to the logical form of dialectics alone. Through the active integration of the still emerging theory of Ettinger, the discourse of ecofeminism plays another vital discursive role. With the inclusion of this discourse, the dialectical orientation of the master's thesis will be expanded with processes of critical discourse analysis. Here, the dialectical and negotiated positions are always read with a specific feminist and critical lens, which contextualizes existing positions and examines them in terms of their social, ecological, and gender-relevant orientation. In addition to Ettinger's matrixal theory, Luce Irigaray manifold thinking, which fundamentally differentiates hegemonic positions, is particularly important. Dialectics and critical discourse analysis are, thus, incessantly intertwined, and it is precisely this discursive exchange that methodologically situates the master's thesis on the relational threads or fragile ephemeral links which its topic and research question require. Thank you very much.